Yeah, so the real upswing in price for Bitcoin and the broader crypto asset space has been driven really by the increased institutional interest in Bitcoin, either as a gold proxy, as a hedge against economic headwinds and economic uncertainty, or honestly as a new asset class. So the whole drive behind Bitcoin is only partially linked to Bitcoin itself, and has also been influenced by those bigger picture headwinds, COVID, fiscal, monetary policies, the world over.
So then, as some of these large traditional financial institutions and Wall Street banks really buy more and more Bitcoin, what does that mean for the future of preserving the original intent of Bitcoin?
Well, I mean, the original idea of Bitcoin was to actually cut out those banks, payment processors, and those financial institutions. But ultimately, to obtain the mainstream use and onboarding of Bitcoin, blockchain, and other crypto assets, there is going to have to be some partnership or some almost co-opting of the idea of Bitcoin by those larger institutions to actually help get Bitcoin and blockchain into the hands of individuals and entrepreneurs.
So then, which countries or regions seem most open to sort of widespread cryptocurrency use versus really focusing on creating their own centralized digital currencies?
Well, the whole conversation around the idea of a central bank virtual currency is really a very hot topic right now. And I would say honestly right now that the current countries that are up front right now, China, US, and Western Europe, are probably the areas that have the most investment and the most opportunities to, one, actually get one out to the marketplace, and two, to actually have those be actually used internally and externally as a medium of actually doing business.
Now, I want to look at the job situation surrounding Bitcoin and the crypto industry. Walk us through the process of mining these things and the sort of job opportunities that it can bring with it.
Sure. So the whole idea of how to mine for new Bitcoin is the only way that any new Bitcoin is added into the marketplace. And so in terms of the job opportunities out there, they are primarily focused in the coding, the developing, and then helping companies interoperate Bitcoin blockchain applications to their own current IT platforms. So it's a mixture of IT, accounting, markets.
Blockchain companies themselves, with so much fluctuation and uncertainty with cryptocurrencies, are blockchain firms the safer option longer term?
So that's a very interesting question, because what I would argue personally is that while Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies are obviously in the headlines right now, top of the conversation, that the underlying blockchain companies are probably where the bulk of the asset dollars and asset investment will ultimately go. So I would argue personally that if you're trying to get some exposure into the area with a lower level of actual risk, the actual blockchain companies could actually work better.
I'm sure regulators are watching all this, so how are they sort of classifying and managing this increased interest in Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies?
So there has been a strong uptick in the interest and the actions taken by regulators and policymakers the world over during 2020. Now it is still a open question as to how crypto will ultimately be treated, right? Because the idea of cryptocurrency is that it's going to be used as a currency, but the bulk of the transactions and the investors in Bitcoin and other crypto assets are not actually doing so. So they're holding them as a investment asset right now. And so all of that is in turn influencing how the oversight agencies are treating it. But there's a whole host of options out there right now, from being classified as a investment, as a commodity, as a piece of personal property.
Certainly lots to unpack there. Thank you so much. Sean Stein Smith there, Assistant Professor of Lehman College at City University of New York.